The wind was bitter that night, tearing through the steel skeletons of the ruined city like a starving animal. In the long shadows of broken towers and snow-laced rubble, a woman named Mira trudged forward, cradling her daughter under a blanket that had long since lost its warmth. Her boots were torn at the sole, her fingers raw from clutching the child, and her breath came in shallow, ragged gasps. Still, she didn't stop. Clara, barely 5, whimpered against her chest. "Mama, it hurts." Mira pulled the child closer, lips pressed to her frostbitten forehead. "I know, baby. We'll find food. We'll find heat. Just a little further." Clara's feet were wrapped in rags, but the rags had frozen stiff. Mira had seen the color of them earlier when she changed the wraps, purple, near black in places. She didn't have to be a doctor to know what that meant. But she couldn't cry. There were no tears left in her body. Only a cold, relentless drive. The last radio broadcast, weeks ago, had said that Sector 9 still had working shelters. A miracle, they claimed. Heat, food, water, medicine. Only accessible through barter or clearance. Mira had none of those. No credits. No status. Only her daughter and the clothes on their backs. And her body. They reached the edge of Sector 9 just after nightfall, the moon peeking through broken clouds like a shy god. A long fence stretched before them, guarded by 2 tall men in exo-armor and thermal gear. Behind them, glowing windows hummed with soft golden light, and Mira could smell something her senses had forgotten. Cooked meat. She approached slowly, head down, both hands visible. "Halt!" one of the guards barked, rifle rising. "Please," her voice cracked. "She's freezing. Just one hot meal. Just a place to warm her feet. I'll do anything. Anything." The guards exchanged a look. The taller one stepped forward, scanning her with night vision optics. "No clearance. No credentials," he muttered. "Just another stray." "She's a child," Mira hissed. "She's 5. Her feet are purple." "Most are, these days," he replied coldly. "Come back with something to trade." "I'm offering myself," Mira said. She hated the way the words tasted. Just for one meal. Just to save her toes. Silence. The younger of the 2 guards shifted. "Jace," he said, more gently. "Let them in. One night." "Protocol." "Screw protocol. Look at the kid." Jace sighed, then keyed his comm gate, override. 2 incoming. Temporary pass. Humanitarian code. The gate buzzed, then hissed open. Mira blinked as the warmth washed over her like a dream. She stepped forward. "Thank you," she whispered. "You have until sunrise," Jace said, voice stone flat. "You get a meal and a cot. Then you leave. We're not a charity." The interior of Sector 9 felt like heaven. The central building was intact, a retrofitted pre-war shelter with solar panels and underground heating. The cafeteria buzzed with faint music, and actual steam rose from the food trays. Mira's legs buckled as she set Clara down, and for the first time in days, the little girl smiled. A nurse in a faded blue jumpsuit rushed over. "Frostbite," she said instantly. "We'll need to wrap those. Possibly amputate if it's bad." "No," Mira said hoarsely. "We'll try to save them," the nurse added quickly. "She's lucky to be here. Many aren't." Clara was taken gently away, wrapped in a silver thermal blanket. Mira stood in place, trembling. Her legs wanted to follow, but she stayed. She'd made a promise. The guard named Jace met her again in the hallway outside the bunks. He didn't leer. Didn't smile. Just gestured to a side room. "Here." She nodded. The room was small. A cot, a generator-powered heater, and a shelf with water bottles. He closed the door behind them. Mira stood stiffly, fingers unbuttoning her coat with robotic precision. Her eyes were far away. "Wait," Jace said suddenly. "Sit down." She blinked. "I said sit." She obeyed. He didn't touch her. Instead, he opened a tin of stew from his belt pouch and handed it to her. "Eat." "What?" "You made it this far. You did what you had to. I'm not going to take what you offered. That offer only proves how far this world has fallen." Tears welled in her eyes. "Why let us in, then?" "Because I have a daughter," he said, looking down. "Or I did. I don't know anymore." Silence. "I saw her in your kid's eyes. That kind of fear. That kind of hope." Mira swallowed the lump in her throat. "Thank you." He stood. "You don't owe me anything." "But I offered." "You offered because the world is cruel. Because survival demands it. But my daughter wouldn't forgive me if I took that deal." He stepped toward the door. "Get some sleep. The nurse said they might be able to save her feet. But you'll need to stay in a warm zone. We'll be kicked out at sunrise." "Not if you have a skill." She blinked. "Can you cook? Clean? Fix things?" "I was a tech assistant before the war." "Report to engineering at 0600. I'll log it as recruitment." Mira stared. "Why?" He hesitated. "Because sometimes, we need to remember we're still human." Mira spent the night curled around her daughter, who now slept peacefully with real bandages on her feet and warmth in her limbs. She wept silently into Clara's hair, the tears she had long buried finally breaking through. At sunrise, she stood at the engineering wing, shivering less now, her back straight. Jace saw her. Nodded once. She nodded back. 2 months later, Clara ran down the corridor, laughing. Her feet had healed, scars remained, but she could walk. Run. Even dance. Mira worked 12-hour shifts maintaining the geothermal converters, but she didn't complain. They had heat, food, safety. One evening, as she stepped outside the shelter to watch the snow fall, she saw Jace leaning against the wall, watching the horizon. "Still no word about your daughter?" she asked gently. He shook his head. "But I like to believe she's alive. Somewhere. Warm. Like Clara." She hesitated, then took his gloved hand. They stood in silence, 2 survivors of a world on fire, each a reason the other still remembered what it meant to be human.